If you are.
Sure. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Black Guy Who Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we're live on a Saturday morning, ready to do some feedback. This is the episode where we talk about what you had to say because you left feedback. You can look in the show notes for how to leave feedback. The website, the YouTube, the 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts, all that stuff. It is helpful. We love it. We appreciate it. Okay, you do it, and damn it, we're here to do it back to you.
Yes.
Of course, we're doing this one because we thought about it. And it's like, it's easier to do a short feedback show to this week than to try to give y'all 2 weeks. Because you know y'all niggas like to talk.
Y'all be having something to say.
And, you know, next thing you know, it's 3-4 hours. And Lord knows we had enough of that, okay? All right, let's get into the show. The official weapon of the show is
phone jail.
And the unofficial sport.
But if I had to think about that.
You gotta tape a sticky to your monitor or something.
Something. My brain goes on autopilot. Nigga, you've been asking me that question for like 20 years.
I know. And of course, like I said, this is a feedback show. So the first thing we need to really do is shout out the people that took the time to give us some money because money is important and in this world, and if you don't have it, then you're broke and we wouldn't be doing this show. So let's shout y'all out. You can donate to the show by going to theblackguywhotips.com. Look on the right hand side. There's a PayPal donation thing where you can set up how you can donate recurring. You can do it one time. It can be any amount. We give everybody the same shout out.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte's own Rod and Karen. We welcome the good folks who tie to the Black Guy Who Tips.
That's right. New donations, new salutations. Shout out to Michael Irvin, the Playmaker, Jasmine A, Michael F, Mary H, Deborah O, Stefan H, Allison H, Corey B, Jonathan H, Jeff M, Mako H. The H's is coming through this week. They always come through in bunches. Marvin B. Yes, Marvin B. Early Days at Photography. The homie J4. Michael W. Nicole F. Chriselle B. Asia D. Annie P. And I hope you're okay. David from Brooklyn. Tom W. Michael S. And lastly, my mama. My mom put in on the podcast this week. So shout out to that donation. We appreciate all of y'all money. Thank you. Funky. Why was our music so dope? We had one 5-star review. One new one. It's from Tormentus from United States. Mm-hmm. Says, love the show. As the title, 5 stars. Love the show because Rod and Karen are hot. Thank you.
Yeah, it ain't got to be long, y'all.
That's all you got to say.
It ain't got to be long. We understand some of y'all don't got the 5 to donate. You don't got the 5 with just the tip. You ain't got the 5 to go premium. You're like, look, I'm just surviving good times.
But you got the 5 stars.
You got the 5 stars.
And we'll take that.
We will.
Okay. Man, Puff Daddy really ruined that. Because I was going to say, we'll take that like Puff Daddy. And I was like, no, that means something totally different now. This nigga.
Yeah, he done changed the phrase because that's my jam. Take that.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to I'm going to have to change the way I phrase shit. If I remember, I'm not even going to lie. It's stuck in my brain now.
Also, programming note, tomorrow JL Covan will be on the show.
Yay!
To kick off the new year. It'll be New Year's Eve edition of the Blackout Tips, and we'll be talking about his long journey to finally get half blackface.
Ooh, this 5-year battle.
I already pre-ordered it on my Apple TV Plus, but he sent me and you a preview link.
Yay!
If I can figure out how to watch it on TV, I will. But if not, I'm just gonna watch it on my big TV because I think it deserves the big TV treatment. I'm not gonna watch this on a phone, on a tablet. No,
I ain't pay that money for that TV not to see JL.
He didn't suffer for our sins. So all right.
I know, Jana went through it all.
We have episodes to talk about. Episode 28, menu anxiety. Wait, that can't be it. Episode 28, 26. You're a mean one. Mr. Print was the name of this episode.
He is.
Shout out to all y'all freaks that probably thought it was about gray sweatpants or something, but it's not.
Not that type of print.
Apia says, thank you for providing a safe space for those with printing distress disorder. It feels good to know that I'm not alone. And the printer does so much more bitchy shit. The app that is working the best has decided that the maximum amount of copies I could choose is 5. So if I want to print 30 invitations, I have to stay with Mr. Printer while he is working to click on print again when he has finished 5. What a needy bitch. When you try to use any other ink than HP, he dramatically says, warning, I've detected non-HP ink. I would not be responsible for possible damage that will result from this. Or he just ignores the ink and behaves as if hasn't gotten any yet.
Oh no!
I know. I have an HP printer, so maybe it's the HP. Maybe that's what the HP stands for. It's huge prick. Okay, it's a huge prick to deal with. When I'm in a hurry, he sometimes prints a test site for no reason, just to show off with all the colors in the maximum quality to also waste the most ink.
Yes, you're like, I didn't ask you to do this.
It was never better. Why do printers hate people? Yeah, that's the thing. Like, this is the best version of a printer I've had, but it's still the worst. It's the worst.
Yes, because we were like, oh, let's be fancy. Let's go wireless. You know what I'm saying? Because when you have it hooked up to that one print, to that one PC, nothing else can print to it.
And also, I know they're ripping me off because they make you sign up for this thing with HP printers now, where you have to, it's like, oh, sign up for this and we'll send you ink whenever you're about to run out of ink. But actually what it does is charges me per page that I print. And it acts like it's doing me the fucking favor. It's like 15 pages are free every month. But if you print more than 15, don't worry. We'll just charge you for it and start sending you ink eventually. And I'm like, I didn't ask for this. Office Depot is up the fucking street.
Right.
But also, I'm so scared of the big print that I think they'll fucking I think if I don't sign up for it, they'll send the command to my printer to be like, yeah, stop working.
Don't do shit.
He didn't go for the ransom. We don't negotiate with
terrorists.
Yeah. Oh, we're the terrorists, actually. We don't negotiate with the hostages. Them motherfuckers just give us our money. So I pay the shit. I pay the shit every month like a fucking sucker.
Because of them, you're the terrorist because you won't pay. You won't pay the ransom.
Son of a bitch. Apia says, I didn't need the cholesterol vaccine last time because I already said so much, but I didn't write about, I guess, the cholesterol vaccine last time because I already said so much. But I've read about it for work when you talked about it. My company has a product that is taken 2 times a year, and this vaccine is the same concept, but likely only once. I know how it works, and I would take it because it goes against the PCSK9, an agent in the body that is like the bodyguard of cholesterol and that makes it stay in the body. And there are no known downsides to eliminating it. There are people in the world who don't have PCSK9 because of a mutation, and they have zero problems, just way less heart issues. I wonder when this vaccine will come out, and if it does, it definitely is as great as and also a threat to our product. That is very good, but this one seems even better. Good that I changed from cardiology to neurology this year in my company. Yep, I feel you. Good for you. It always works out for Apia. Okay. She was one step ahead of the big pharma curve.
Right. One step ahead of the big pharma curve. She is like in the future, because that's how she always be posting first. I'll be like, how she be posting first? Because she be knowing.
I don't know. She be in there. Hustle No Flow says, one more thing about printers. I found out how to clean print heads on YouTube. And one thing that they mentioned is that printers need to print. It was recommended printing something every few days to keep printer heads from getting clogged up. Whenever I go through the process of cleaning the heads, I do a good job of running a test print at least weekly for the first month, and then it's back to letting them get clogged again. Obviously says, great. So to avoid some bitchy print behavior from Mr. Print, I have to interact more with him. Of course, that's so manipulative. Vomit emoji. Not of you. Mr. Print is the manipulative bitch. I agree.
Come on.
Also, I don't believe him. It's just another way to keep me fucking having to print some of them 15 pages. Now I gotta waste 4 pages a month on the fucking test print, which uses the most ink.
Yes.
And now if I need to go print some like taxes or some shit, it's like, oh, we're gonna have to bill you $5. And keep in mind, just because they bill me that does not mean they send me the ink. Like they bill me, and once I've accumulated enough to where they're like, this is about when you should need some ink, then they mail me the ink after they've been charging me for months for the bullshit.
What?
Yeah, I told you, I'm fucked. I don't know how to get out of this cycle. I understand Office Space now. When that motherfucker took that,
he lost it.
That printer outside and beat the shit out of it with a bat, I get it, bro. Green Eye Bandit says, just catching up on episodes, but I wanted to thank you for your annual porn recap. As a bit of a connoisseur myself, I love tuning into your commentary on the trends and the rankings. Well, I came up with the phrase a long time ago when we first started the show. Pornosaur.
Yes,
okay.
Pornosaur.
We are pornosaurs. Okay. We know our porn.
Yeah, we know our definitions. Pornosaur. Homosexuals is another one.
Well, now this very specific about pornosaur.
Porn. Yeah,
okay.
Pornosaur. Yeah.
We're a pornosaur. Mm-hmm. That means that you're a bit more refined than the average plebeian who dabbles a bit.
Who just be playing in the shit.
Yeah. You know the names. You might know the directors. Okay.
Yes.
You might know the male stars. You might know what years people work. You might be following their Instagram. You might be on the Reddit.
Come on, certain series.
Yeah, you might know some things, and that's okay.
You was on Black Girl Online.
Yeah, I don't know why we have to be shamed out of it. It's clearly the number one industry. Everybody pissed in my state because tomorrow, Monday, they're passing a law that goes into effect that means you won't be able to get on porn sites unless you have like a VPN or something in North Carolina. And people are mad as hell. And I'm like, now why y'all mad?
Right.
I'm weird for knowing who Janet Jackman is, but y'all niggas mad as hell because y'all not gonna be able to get your porn. Come join the porn party. If everybody was more open about the shit, we wouldn't have passed that dumbass law. They use our shame against us. It's all because we're supposed to be ashamed of the fact that people watch porn and pleasure themselves or just fucking whatever reason they watch it. We're all supposed to be living in shame, and Republicans and the fucking Democrats went along with it this time too because everyone's so scared. They're like, I don't want to be the person that sounds like this. Okay. People are just like, how do we make it safe? How do you make it so it's only consenting adults? We're not talking about anything illegal and nefarious. And yet here come the draconian laws because they use that puritanical shit against us. And you know what's gonna happen? VPN sales gonna go up. That's all that's gonna happen. Nothing's really gonna change for people. No one's gonna put their fucking license on no website, so when it gets hacked, they have your history of what the fuck you've been jacking off to, because we have not destigmatized any of this shit in our society enough for you to want to know what your senator jacks to and be an adult about it. No one does that. No one's done that.
The only people that's benefiting is the VPN people.
Right.
They're like, yes, another state.
Yeah, they probably, big VPN probably behind the shit.
Yeah, they would be surprised if everything I go on be like, hey, we see you in North Carolina. Go on and get that VPN app, girl.
He also goes on, plus, or he or she, I don't know. Plus, it prepares me for the most wonderful time of the year. You guessed it, AVN in Vegas. Love y'all both, and Merry New Year. You too. Mm-hmm. Sean says, I've been busy. My immediate supervisor quit 2 days before the beginning of the semester, and 90% of his workload is shifted to me. As a bonus, I received a certificate of appreciation, still better than a potato.
I'd
rather have a potato.
It's about the same for me. You can't eat that piece of paper. At least you can put sour cream and onion on a potato.
I can't eat no degrees.
Right.
So I am just catching up. I was listening to your podcast while rewriting a section of a textbook. The course is on a test, which changed its format at just before the beginning of the semester. So there was a close proximity to your talking about TWIB on this episode, which made the connection between TWIB and alumni Eljoy Williams, political strategist, and her current podcast on civics. Yeah, Sunday Civics. Yeah, we've been on it.
We have.
It's called Sunday Civics and does a good job of covering civics with occasional topical episodes. Just thought some of the listeners here might find it interesting and enjoyable. Absolutely. Look, Eljoy is on a losing crusade, fighting a good fight, trying to educate people about some fucking civics so they won't go on Twitter and just say shit like, well, I don't understand, Joe Biden. Just do something. Why haven't you just made the Supreme Court bigger? God damn it. And just go in there every day and just say something.
Yes, it's like, just dumb shit. Her in June.
So
get out my face.
She's fighting the losing battle. It's not her fault she's losing. Ignorance is just strong.
Yes, it is.
But she's trying to fight the good fight so people could be like, oh, that's what the three branches do? I have forgot that. I learned it in third grade and never went back.
Right.
EVE says, I think printer ink is a scam. Girl, me and you know a scam because you love Arby's. My printer tells me it's running out of ink when I know I just bought a fresh cartridge. Take it out, wait an hour, put it back in. Printer recognizes it's full again. Pure scam created by printer and ink makers. Okay, I'm not sure that confirms the scam, but I'm just glad you're on my side. Let's just not fight. It's a new year.
Let's not fight.
New Year resolution.
New year, new you.
I'm gonna try to make this work with you, EV. I'm gonna join Team Arby's next year. Okay?
Oh shit! Now you gonna make Miss Barnes happy.
I'm gonna join y'all side. We just need to squash the beef because they have the meats.
Squash the beef.
So we just need to squash the roast beef. we gotta squash the roast beef, y'all. No comments on YouTube on this episode. Let's check the poll and then the stuff on Spotify, of course. The poll was, do you mail out holiday cards? Only 19% of y'all do. 81% do not. And on Spotify, 23% of y'all do. 76 do not. Which makes sense.
Yeah, most people don't. Not like they used to.
I wouldn't have done it if it's not for this podcast. And it really was just an idea I had one day. It was like, fuck it. And it is actually kind of a pain in the ass. But I love y'all.
It's something we love to do. Yeah, it's actually a fun experience. We get to pick the pictures and go all out. But yes, it is a process.
I do all this shit. Okay? Karen tried to throw herself in there.
You look. It's a we. Because when they
I'll tell you
pictures, it's us.
This is the first year that Karen helped me fold the envelopes and stuff, and that was so helpful. So
yes, just ask.
So that was cool to mail it out. But I've been doing this stuff because I love y'all and I'm a basic bitch. So I like pumpkin spice, candles, and holiday cards. I'm 100% white woman of color. That's just how I get down. I embrace it. I'm not fighting it. The Q&A was, thank you for the gifts and cards. Merry Christmas. Brewer Bulla says Merry Christmas. And it was Sophia Loren side-eyeing James Manfield's boobs, Mariska Hargitay's mom. Yes, you're right. I said Marilyn Monroe. I was so wrong. I felt so bad about it as soon as he got off the air because I was like, that's not right. We all know Sophia Loren had them things thanging. Aaron says, just curious, what are your favorite songs on Victoria Monet's new album? You mentioned her a few times, and I love that album. Well, first of all, the whole
album. I'm about to say the whole
shit is banging.
Woo! You press play and you just go all the way through that bitch.
I hate to sound basic, but On My Mama, for sure, the one. You know, but as I say that, the one is the one. Okay? Like the whole shit flows. I even fuck with that motherfucking the party girls all around the world.
Oh, that album flows.
Yeah, it's got Bougie Bonton on it. All right. It's, man, the whole fucking thing goes, but okay, so stop asking me for shit. You know what, nigga? All of them. You can't make me pick.
You can't make me pick.
Nice try.
Roger, like, stop trying to make me pick my favorite child. No, right. Everybody.
Right. Oh, which song off of Renaissance is it? A different one every day, nigga. What the fuck?
Depending on how I feel.
It's only one right answer. Whatever I woke up to in my brain that morning, and it's gonna be something different the next day, probably. Autumn says, not relevant, but have you seen the Bamboozle poster? My friend says it says starring the great black actors, and Rappaport's name is on the list. Maybe that went to his head. God damn it, Spike Lee!
There's a Bamboozle poster. Where I been?
Movie poster.
Okay.
Yeah.
When it first came out. Okay, I thought it was something new. I'm gonna say, where I been?
No, I assume it's yeah, okay. I'm looking at it right now. I'm gonna put it on screen so we all can watch it, look at it together. And yeah, it doesn't say great black actors. It's even worse than great black actors.
It's great Negro actors. What's that?
It says starring great Negro actors.
Bullshitting.
Negroe, by the way. Starring the great Negro actors Damon Wayans, Savion Glover, Jada Pinkett Smith, Tommy Davidson, Michael Rappaport. So yeah, I blame Spike Lee. Okay.
Oh,
John Singleton ain't do that shit.
He would never.
So Spike, he's your man. Go get him. Okay. I know he's gonna be at the fence trying to get in the cookout, and you gonna have to stop him from getting his ass whooped.
This shit gotta be the go.
Yeah, not even the go. I'll spit in it. Wallace says, I used to send out holiday cards. Sorry, I mean Christmas cards, but after a while they didn't go out until after New Year, so I figured why bother. Well, technically, I sent out 2 batches this year because last year's batches I didn't send out to like
in the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
So some of y'all got them in the summer and turn around and got them again.
That was fun. But yeah, I enjoy it. I think if you've never tried it before, I say try it and go to Vistaprint. And
that's like probably one of the cheapest ways. Yeah,
go to Vistaprint. They have it's so much easier than you think. Yes. I think they even have an option where you can have them mail it for you if you put the addresses in and stuff like that. I don't use that version of it.
But that would be really convenient. You be like, look, here's everything. Just mail it.
And most of y'all probably don't have as big. Like we sent out about 100. Most of y'all are probably going to end up sending out like
20, 25.
Yeah, a few. Yeah. And, and then like some people will send some back and stuff. We got a card from the Felders this year. It's a fun feeling when you guys send us cards. It's a fun feeling to open them up and stuff. So, and it's a little thing that, and then, it helps the post office. You use, stamps and all this stuff. I don't know. I think it's fun. And I think if you're looking to mix it up in the holidays, try it. Mm-hmm. All right, we need to go to the next one, but we gotta move this, get these, we gotta get this money. So let me play one of these beats for everybody. Was called Wave Bounce. I like that. That's dope. Episode 2827, the Gender Wars Gold Medal. We had 9 comments on this one. Appia says, great that you are back. I got Christmas COVID. What a shitty gift from the universe. We were visiting mother-in-law for 3 days who recently had breast cancer, so I tested before going. Negative. When we arrived, I felt bad, stayed in our room for safety. The next day, I tested again, and it was positive as can be. Aww. We left a half hour later. Now I'm at home and have to also move the first date with my new potential friend. Yay, but I feel at least acceptable. Yeah, and I think she DM'd me later and said she actually is feeling better and she's tested negative. So good for her.
That's good. And
glad you're doing okay.
And at least you care, because that's the thing. At least you like, I care enough to actually take precautions, because we're at the point now where you're not going to prevent anything.
Yeah.
And one positive thing, particularly if you're boosted and vaccinated, yeah, you're going to get sick, but it ain't going to take you down. And then, like you said, you did the right thing by being like, y'all know what, we got to go. Like, we
and I test here.
We need to leave.
Like, I test before going to see my parents and stuff like that, too.
I do, too.
We still got all these tests in here, so... if I'm going to like a family function, I just want to be sure.
Yep, I test myself, because you don't never know who's going to be there and all that stuff. Like when I went to go see my mom for Thanksgiving, it was her. She's in her 80s. Some other family members and friends, and all them in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. I was like, I can't be walking up in there sick.
Right. So I think, that's a big thing. And we got all these free government tests out here.
Take advantage.
And I think you can still get them.
You can.
Yeah.
You can. You could. They restarted it, and now you can. I think you get it 2 times. They did it 1 round, and then they did the second round. So if you haven't done it, order 2 times, and they'll ship it out. I'll let y'all know when it's up again.
She writes in again and said, I think you are correct. Most white people don't know about edges. At least I didn't, and I just learned. Simone's hair looks, for me, pretty in every picture. Google offers me. I really can't see the problem with it. Trigger alert, a white person talk about black hair. I looked up edges, and while they can look pretty and impressive, they seem like more time and money required to do for, it feels like one more thing that with more time and money required to do for black women, especially when this woman can be criticized for opting out of the edge game. Can women just live sometimes?
I agree. And also it's one of those things where edges, some people call them quote unquote baby hairs, is another phrase that, people kind of use for it. And it's also, one of those things, particularly because of slavery, for a lot of, black and brown people, they feel very conscious of it. And you do have people who, if you were in a family where y'all didn't really talk about edges and shit like that, you'd be like, the fuck is an edge? Like, a lot of people got online, even black people was like, the fuck are edges? I just brush and comb my hair. Like, what are we doing? What are we talking about? And then you realize this is huge thing about it. But the thing is, because of a lot of traditions and the things we use, a lot of even children edges and things are messed up because braids and twists and things like that, which is fine, but a lot of times they're too tight. They put stress on our hair. A lot of the products that are out there aren't actually designed for our hair, and actually dries it and breaks it and makes it shed and things like that. And it takes a while to find out what's the right product, particularly as somebody as a black woman with 4C hair. It takes a while to particularly find products that are good and healthy for your hair that won't destroy it.
Yeah, and I just think you're right. It's another one of those things black women have to do. And it's sad because like a lot of it is kind of self-inflicted, meaning that the people that police the edges is not white people. White people don't, like you said, don't really even know about edges. And I just thought that's a big part of the Simone Biles, Gabby Douglas discussion that gets erased in these gender wars, because once it's a gender war situation, once people are online and they're being hyperbolic, they erase all the nuance from the conversation. And a lot of the resentment that she's gotten has not been something black men did to her. It has not been something white people did to her. A lot of that stuff about her appearance has been something that black women have done that has been very unfair, that happen, they do to each other all the time, which is just, you need to always be put together all the time when we see you in every single way. And women do it in general, but I mean, I think you would hope there would be a safe space among black women that would be a lot more understanding. When Taraji P. Henson talked about how she can't just like be herself, she needs a team for everything, meaning she can't do Instagram without hair, makeup, glam, everything, because if you do, it becomes a huge distraction. I've seen it happen myself. I'm sure black women that follow influencers and follow celebrities, y'all have seen it happen a million times, of just somebody starts saying some unkind stuff about the way someone dresses or their hair or their makeup or something. And it doesn't matter if that woman could be crying, that woman could be just keeping it real, whatever. Here we go with she ain't always put together. I don't know what she was doing without wearing that, And so, yeah, there's an extra pressure to it. And a lot of people act like folks don't have hard feelings or residual feelings coming out of that. But also, even if it comes from a quote unquote good place, it still sets the person up to be pitied. And that might not be a source of strength for that person. I don't think Simone Biles finds strength in the like, everyone pities you because your edges ain't right. And because I think it becomes a subliminal thing of, and yet that man can't possibly love you because we don't think you're to his standards, because you're not to our standards. The only love you're going to have is from the internet people that are weirdos like me. And I think that was a big part of this discussion that did not go stated, because that's too close to the truth for most of the people involved. And either they haven't done a self-examination of why they have that double standard on her, and why a lot of that has been self-inflicted, and meaning from within the community and not outside the community.
Right. And it's also one of those things, because a lot of people, when it comes to a lot of things, and as a black woman who's had their hair relaxed and who's been natural for a while now, you kind of see it from both sides. And a lot of it is the proximity to whiteness, the paper bag test. If she can't use your comb, don't bring her home. I'm talking about like the old school shit. And even the things where people used to get the pressing with the hot iron and shit like that, a lot of that stems from our hair, which naturally goes curly, trying to make it as quote unquote straight as possible. And for some people that works, and for some people that doesn't. And even in the hair community, you can see a rift. It's just ridiculous. You see some people, and I don't agree with it. However you choose to, whatever you choose to do with your hair is your business. I don't got nothing to do with that. But you have a lot of people who get their hair relaxed and shit on the natural community, and you have a lot of people in the natural community that shit on people with processed hair. And that's an internal battle too. And a lot of that starts with, people have these internal things, these things that they personally hadn't worked out within themselves. And a lot of this is projecting. As children, your parents project, which is understandable. A lot of the things that's happening, going on in society onto you, quote unquote, trying to give you the best life, trying to make it where it's less of a struggle for you. We also live in a society too, where children are complex, and a lot of people think, particularly in the Black community, if your children look a mess, it's a reflection on you as a parent. And so for a lot of parents, they go overboard with that. Like, they'll look like trash, but they're gonna be sure their kids is clean. They're gonna be sure their kids are presented. And then a lot of that is a lot of internal shit. Your baby, you call your baby, hey, your baby, go outside and play and get out frizz. And next thing you know, you have to deal with other people commenting on your baby's hair when you be like, well, my child is just a child. Like, why can't my child be a child? Why can't my child just be a kid that don't give a fuck about hair and shit like that? No, that can't happen. And it's a lot of pressure on parents. There's a lot of pressure on children, and there's a lot of pressure in the community to always be perfect, always be on, always be presentable. We can't be off. That's why we're all crazy about being clean and lotioning down and being sure you're presentable. That's why you have some people, they'll put on a fucking wig before they would go outside looking crazy, quote unquote, because society has told them, and particularly within themselves, within our community, if you don't have this thing, if you're not 100% perfect all the time, what is the point? And it is devastating to people's psyche. It's fucking people up. It's making people have these internal battles that they don't know how to deal with. And then, like I said, you have this, well, I get my hair straight. What's wrong with you? You walking around here with your nappy ass head, and you got the people that get their hair it's natural going, well, I don't know why you get this problem. You're killing yourself, when at the end of the day, it don't matter, because it's your choice.
Yeah, it's funny to think about how much of a pushback Monique got about talking about bonnets and people in the airport, Black women in the airport not being presentable. When, like I said, you can look in the Instagram comments of any of these athletes and see that a lot of people are on that Monique shit. It's not that different. And like I said, it was one thing. Well, as Reggie said, Simone was competing. The criticism unfair. But here's the thing: the article I pulled up for this was about her wedding photos. People were talking bad about her hair in her fucking wedding photos. So, like I said, to me, I think there's something a lot of people don't want to admit, which is that a lot of them look down on her, and they don't think she couldn't pull this guy, or their biggest fear is that this guy's somehow so confident in himself that he's too good for her, and eventually she's setting herself up and shit. And who knows what the fuck is going on in their relationship, because we don't know them. But I just think that assumption is based in a lot of anti-Blackness and weirdness that people have inside, and they're trying to act like it's everybody else's fault because that dude said some shit about being confident in himself, essentially. And like I said, I get it. We live in a world where there's fucking, like, Kevin Samuels exists. Anytime a man starts saying shit like, I believe I'm the prize. I mean, I always say men the prize. You immediately go into 27 different versions of like, what could he mean and how bad could it be? But then, like I said, I listened to the whole podcast, and I really did not find what he said to be this isolated moment of like, that's the real truth. Everything else was a lie. So,
Yeah, and also while I'm thinking about it, another thing, not trying funny about edges in hair, particularly with Black women, a lot of times we have to deal with the quote unquote double standard of always being compared to men. And so for a lot of women, they were like, I have to do whatever I can to keep my hair quote unquote as feminine as possible, because I don't want to be quote unquote label a man. Right. like for a lot of women, that's the last thing you want. Even
especially for Black women. Yeah.
Yes. Even with people exercise, and I even went through this because I didn't understand when people be like, hey, you're getting older, you need to lift weights. The first thing I said, and like I said, I had to learn how to break this. I don't want to be like a man. There's like, that's not the point. The point is to get you strong, because you actually need the muscle as you age. It reduces like osteoporosis.
Oh, okay. So you've been lifting weights?
Okay.
You just was bringing that up.
I
just asking questions.
And lifting weights, as far as nothing heavy, we got two little small weights.
I know. I'm just asking, have you been lifting them?
I've been doing that, but I haven't been doing like no major weightlifting, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So
Well, it's okay. I mean, I was just asking the question since you used that as the example. That's all. All right. Shoe Booty says football man did not know gymnastics woman despite her fame. He was just in his lane. It's not the issue people are making it. He was a hot asset on his own. He thought he was a catch. Good for him. There are plenty of sports people who are massively famous that I have no clue about until they're brought up to me.
Right.
I don't know this guy, and I damn well didn't know Travis Kelce was a thing prior to Taylor Swift. Yeah, I think it's the conspiratorial part of it that's wild to me. It's like, why does it have to be some version of a conspiracy like that? No, he really did know. He's only saying that to like that. Y'all don't see how that's being, you're hyper online, and that's why
they don't see it.
It turned into this must be some type of conspiracy. It can't be anything but this, because to me that's, I don't know, pretty obvious that, like people went and did research of like his past girlfriends, and they're like, see, his other girlfriends don't look like her. I'm like, what does that mean though? And also like, what's wrong if this is the thing? She picked that man is essentially what we learned from that interview. She wanted him and she went and got him. He thinks he's the prize. What's wrong with that?
Right.
Like, really, what is wrong with her being like, yeah, I think he's the prize. I wanted him and I got him. These other hoes wanted him. They didn't get him. And I'm Simone Biles and I'm that bitch. If she believed that, more power to him.
Hello.
Really not up to me to decide. And I know 1000% if the genders were reversed, we would be like, yes, king, 100%. So let's just stop with the bullshit. Shoe Booty says, this made me laugh and sent us a TikTok. Hold on. Let me see if I can put it up. TikTok is so weird on the fucking desktop app. Hopefully it works. See, try to make me log in. Oh yeah, I saw this. This guy's pretty funny. If it'll play. God damn it, now the volume.
Simone Biles? Like, for real, I don't even think that's what happened. You
Here we go.
disrespecting Simone Biles? Like, for real, I don't even think that's what happened. You are married to 4-time Olympic gold medalist Simone Biles. And you said that you are the catch. I mean, yeah, that's what I said. Jonathan Owens, his thing, bitch. His thing, bitch. He is a whole Avenger, okay? She is a national treasure. Meanwhile, I don't even know who the fuck you are. Y'all want to hear something funny right quick? Like, when we met or what, I didn't even know who she was like that, for real. Like, I don't really be messing with gymnastics like that,
If you have to watch this on YouTube or on our Crowdcast, because like the dude is superimposing his mouth and eyes on the planet Earth and being like everyone on Earth knows who Simone Biles is and this nigga don't,
I didn't know who she was. For real. I'm about to smack the shit out of you. Hey, listen, Earth, I guess I appreciate the enthusiasm, but me and my man are happy. We're doing good. We good. Simone, if you don't sit your beautiful, rich, goddess-like ass down, this all seems very condescending, but okay. Take it back right now. Say that you're not the catch. Do it! Yo, I ain't doing that. I ain't scared of none of y'all. I play for the Green Bay Packers. It could be whatever, cuz. Bitch! I will fuck you up on Simone's behalf. That's how mad I am. Yo, real quick, y'all notice that y'all always mad about something? Huh? Y'all notice? Huh? Y'all notice that y'all always mad about something? Yeah, and it's never stuff that matters. Like, y'all don't know shit about me. For real, we got on a podcast and talked about our relationship, and y'all furious. Hey, you put y'all shit on the podcast. We have a right to react to it. Yeah, you're right. You also have a right to get a fucking life. Yeah, y'all should think about doing that. You'd probably be a lot happier. Like me and my husband. Hey, girl, you want to go to the Cheesecake Factory? Well, I want to go to the Cheesecake Factory. Let's go, bitch! No, they did not just walk away from me. Hey, you know what, Earth? They're right. You fucking suck. Man, fuck you, Carter. Fuck you. Fuck you and your cat dog shirt. You're 37, bitch. Oh, you're gonna make fun of my shirt? I literally hope an asteroid hits you and destroys you. Oh.
That was very funny. That was very funny. Good writing.
That's hilarious.
I love the twist that halfway through. But yeah, that encapsulates a lot of how I was feeling. Also, like we were talking to a friend the other day and she brought up something about it that is so, I can't even believe I didn't even think of it, but people are acting like they don't date men.
Right.
Men, the average man, if you listen to that whole interview, that man is so open, honest, talks about their like supporting each other, their love for each other, all this shit. You're telling me if I sit with you and your man for an hour and ask you about your relationship, all of them are gonna pass the bell hooks womanism test? No. I don't think so. And I'm not even saying I feel like he messed up, because I truly do not feel like he messed up. I really think if they're secure in their relationship and they're happy, then that's really all that fucking matters. Certain levels of security, I would say people aren't ready to hear, people aren't ready for. The stuff me and Karen talk about off the show, we don't talk about on the show a lot of times, because I know that you guys are essentially still strangers, no matter how many hours of the show we do.
Right.
And at any point, even when we talk about stuff we feel is fine, we've had people write in here and say stuff where we're like, we didn't say that, or why would you take something so negative out of what we said? So I know that stuff like this is right for it. But yeah, and she brought that up. Our friend brought that up over dinner, and I was like, yes, like motherfuckers really get on the internet and act like brand new people. Like, no one's ever said anything, and I was in a relationship with them. They always made me sound the greatest at all times. Like, get the fuck out of here. I've met your spouses. I've met men. I am a man.
Met men.
They don't always get it right, and they don't always understand the optics. You know?
No, they do not, because they're not obligated to and don't have to give a fuck about certain things.
Yeah, I really think they wanted him to fake it. Yes. If I'm being honest, because that is their story. That is how they met. Mm-hmm. He did not lie. I don't think they wanted him to lie, because they needed a certain image of her to maintain. And I think, I think a lot of people got lost in the sauce fighting about it. Mm-hmm. Ann says, good take on the Simone Biles situation. It's a sweet story when you hear the whole thing and not just the clip. I didn't like the prize comment when I first saw the clickbait, but context is everything. They sound like a solid couple. Yeah, and I mean, people know what they doing, and the pivot know what they doing. They the ones who skated in this shit. They put that clip out. Like, that shit wasn't discovered. They put that clip out and was like, he didn't know. And then when everybody went crazy, they came back like, I can't believe y'all would. Yes, you can, because I see your podcast, and every week you put a clip out, knowing that it's going to go, hoping that it goes viral.
That's the whole point.
Yeah. So, I mean, you kind of set them up, in my opinion, because there were plenty of clips you could have put out about therapy, about how he supported her through the twisties, about how she supported him when he was like I said, when he looked at that film and was trying to get better, and she already knew the shit. There's plenty of stuff. How she taught him how to deal with fame, because he had never had that before, because he was just essentially a nobody trying to make the NFL. And he learned graciousness from her, and how he realized she was a super mega fucking star the first time they really went out in public together. And he's like, oh my God. So yeah, they could have put out a ton of other clips. They know what they were doing.
Of course.
Gina Gates says, thanks for the clear view on the Biles situation. I admit I was one of the how dare he camp. It's so hard not to automatically defend Black women. We so often don't feel defended and are so used to hearing ourselves degraded. Honestly, it never occurred to me that there might be a different perspective. I'm not sure if that says more about what I expect from Black men in the media or my own self-image as a Black woman. Great episode.
Yeah, because, and a lot of times you have to get to the point where most people consume. They've never been on a production side. So when something is presented to you, most people don't take that extra step and go, okay, I see this clip. I know what you're trying to do. Let me go back and let me see what's the context, like what's behind this. The clip did what it was supposed to do. Tap on your insecurities. The clip did what it was supposed to do. Make you project. That's what the clip was supposed to do. That's what causes the engagement. That's what causes the debate. That's what caused it to go viral. It did what it was supposed to do.
I'll go one further. It's not that people don't understand being on the production side. Now, everyone's on the production side. They producing content, and part of their content is stripping things of context and being like, stay mad at just this. And if this, and it's so fucking frustrating sometimes as a person that tries to live in just reality.
Right.
It's so fucking frustrating, the social media stuff. And it honestly is why I mostly don't talk to people on social media about these hot topics. I love the podcast, not just because you're here, but because it's long form, because the chat room is listening to us talk for hundreds of hours. People are not here just to see if they can fight us, right? or to frame the argument like lawyers. Like, people turn into these like weird kind of lawyers, right? Like, I will not allow this into evidence. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? That happened. We're human. We saw it. It's germane to the topic. Well, no, I don't care. You know, I'm not going to go listen to this podcast. Okay, well, good for you on remain ignorant. I don't have to respect your opinion. You chose to remain uninformed. Get the fuck off. Get away from me.
Right.
Because I wouldn't deal with that as a human being talking to another person. If another person started yelling at me and I went, well, I actually know more information, and maybe if you go get that information, we can have a better discussion. And you went, I'm not getting that information. I want to fight you. It's like, something's wrong with you. And I don't know what it is, but it's not my responsibility to fix or deal with. And I think that's a huge part of the internet, is this culture of like the quote unquote conversation, which is never really a conversation. It's just everyone kind of piling on, saying the same things over and over, and then fighting the other group that's piling on and saying the same things over and over. And I think that's a huge part of this quote unquote discussion that it went so crazy online to where people are, you know, trying to find like circumstantial evidence to build a case against the guy. Oh, but he knew who Gabby Douglas was when he was 15 and she was trending on Twitter and he said such and such. Now, he's never tweeted about gymnastics again the rest of his entire life, but still, he must know who Simone Biles is. Like, we don't know that. Well, I went and found pictures of his ex-girlfriends. His ex-girlfriends don't look like Simone Biles, so clearly he must think he better than her. It's like, we don't know any of that. What the fuck are you talking about? And why are you so obsessed with this? This is not normal. This is not rational. You know, it's so weird, especially when two people are telling you, we in this together, we're happy, and the issues you're saying are not the issues that we have in our relationship. Well, I'm sorry. They know better than you do from a 2-minute clip that you refuse to look into context into. I'm sorry. You'd rather go look up tweets to try to build an argument to fight people online. Cool, but that's weird to me.
Yep. And the thing is, like I said before, when you're in that matrix, you think that shit is normal, and you think everybody else is weird for being rational and being logical and being grounded. You think something's wrong with them for actually saying the shit y'all doing is goddamn insane.
It's become very normalized that these gender war fights and shit, it's just like, just win at all costs. Ms. Barnes says, God bless you, Rod, for giving us context. I kept seeing the clip and I said to myself, I'm waiting for Rod and Karen to dissect this, and dissect it. You both did. Thank you. I knew that there was more to it than the clickbait that the Pivot put out there. And speaking of throwing a rock and hiding their hands, I see what the Pivot did. They knew that this hot take was going to attract the clicks that it attracted. However, when you read long form, aka listed our podcast, Simone's husband is grateful to God that he has Simone as his wife. Yeah, it's like I said, low key. I feel like the Pivot got off on this because they kind of I think they threw them to the wolves with that clip. And then was on some like, listen, they seem happy if you listen to the whole show. It's like, yeah, but y'all knew y'all put the most salacious part of that shit out there without really any context. And then went, look at this, America. And like, come on. And I don't think and not for the record, I don't think that the Pivot podcast is a bad podcast. I don't really think that they're a very salacious podcast. I actually think they're a really good show. And they have had some of the best conversations I've heard, especially straight male athletes have, period. Now that says a lot about how low the bar is for a lot of these podcasts with black men, but that show and what they're doing is really good work. But I think the algorithm and going viral and all that stuff is very strong, and it's why Shannon Sharp is putting out clips of him and Chad Ocho Cinco talk about women farting in the bed, and it's all the same beast. And you either feed it or you don't. If you don't feed it, I mean, sure, you have your integrity, but then you don't have the top podcast. You know, we're not taking clips from our show and trying to find the ones that make us look it's like us taking like a clip from Guess the Race and reading everybody's racist answers and only putting that on Twitter and being like, well, why is everybody so upset? We play that game. If you listen to the whole show, everybody will be like, but we don't. We're on Twitter, and it's very fucked up that people were saying racist jokes or whatever. That's right. That's the equivalent of what they did to me. Evie says, I kept hearing about Simone Biles discourse on social media. I too was skeptical of her husband, not knowing who she was, because I think the app they met on, you have to be famous, some high profile figure, or be in certain income bracket. I don't want to put anybody's business out there, so I won't. But I have a good friend that is on Raya, and that person is like not famous or rich. So it's more about you have to, one, get like an invite, but two, it's more about confirming your identity. You don't necessarily have to be like a big time celebrity to be on the app. But your analysis put things into context. And for the record, think about it. When he was on the app, this nigga was like trying to make the Cardinals. Like he wasn't who he is now. Right. When he hopped on that app like 2 or 3 years ago, and like I said, when they met, this nigga didn't have a car. Right. So it's not like Raya is not, once again, I saw this discourse online for people turning into lawyers. So in order, they had to be like, oh, and another point for me, Raya is an app that only famous rich celebrities can be on. It's like, that's actually not true. Raya would like you to believe that because it makes their app seem like a bigger deal than it is. But no, you can be a not megastar or whatever, famous or rich, and be on that fucking app if you're willing to let them see your license and all this shit.
Yeah, they were like, is you a real person and you are real? Okay.
Yeah, so it was very... Anyway, but your analysis put things in context for me, especially hearing the part about how he matched with her on the app. One of the things that has been tossed around all week was that she's not his type and he is only with her to hype himself up. And she's not the kind of woman someone who looks like him would date if she wasn't so accomplished. And that's kind of fucked up because that's way worse than anything he ever said about her. Right.
They're putting words in their mouths, both parties.
This is what I'm saying. A lot of this is internalized. And because these motherfuckers won't do their own therapy, they don't even see it's their projection of a huge amount of just like anti-blackness onto her. You know, it's she's dark skinned, her hair ain't right, she don't got this type of shape, she don't do this, she don't do that. And I'm like, you believe that about her?
Right.
We have never had a moment where Simone Biles has even shown a little bit of believing the shit that y'all think she should think about herself. Period. She don't even, when she had the twisty, she wasn't even on some like, woe is me shit. You know what I mean? Like she built different. To get them fucking gold medals, you gotta be built different.
Yes,
she just built different, and I think people can't relate to just somebody like her being like, I pulled this nigga because I wanted him, and that's what the fuck I do. I want things. I'm Simone Biles. My only competition is myself, and I get things.
I go for the gold, and he happened to be the gold.
Yeah, and like, yeah, okay. He didn't know that he needed me in his life. Bam. You know what I mean? So I don't think she was even looking at like the way people do. Plus, circling back to the type of app they met on, everyone on the app is either rich or famous. I'm certain there's all types of beautiful women on the app. In order to match on these apps, you have to swipe right on each other. So of course he must have found her attractive to match with her in the first place. Sounds like that like what they have works for them, but some of these takes are just pure weirdo speculations. I saw the Oprah Taraji clip everyone was talking about, and I didn't know what to make of it, but you know who was quick to chime in to her hating 2 cents? Monique. If Oprah has one hater, it's Monique. Absolutely. If Oprah has no haters, that means Monique has died. But the fact that Taraji had to speak up still wasn't enough for people to stop speculating. Some people just live for the drama. I know. It's sad, too, because I feel like with everything Taraji was going through, people kind of forced her hand into, like, having to then go and put out a fucking statement on Instagram because y'all won't let it go. Like, that's crazy. Like, you care about her so much, but you forced her into, like, guys, Oprah's been very helpful and kind. Why are you like? Let's say it was true for a second. Why are y'all putting her in a position to deal with more conflict in the industry? To be Oprah's number one enemy now. You're not helping her. If it would be different if she wanted to say something like that, but she clearly didn't want to say that. And then she had to go even further out of her way to be like, and that's definitely not what I'm saying. Wow. People, wow. On YouTube, we got one comment from Jay Full who says, you completely changed how I viewed this situation. I had only heard the audio of that short clip. Didn't know she was in the studio too. Thanks for the fresh perspective. Hey, that's what we try to do here. You know, and I'm glad that, glad some people were able to at least get another point of view. Once again, we're not requiring everybody to agree with us. We're not trying to change everybody's mind. We're just giving y'all what we feel. But, it does warm my heart when people are like, yo, no one was talking about this in the way y'all talked about it. And this feels genuine or valid. I like that. The poll. Do you celebrate Christmas? 93% of our audience does. 7.5% basically does not. On Spotify, 87% of the audience does, and 13% does not. The me search versus research was the Q&A. Magnificent Breezy says, Merry Christmas, y'all. I host my extended family for big Xmas Eve party gift exchange, and on Christmas, my household goes out and eats ethnic food because I'm not cooking twice. This year was Korean barbecue.
I don't blame you. People go, I did that shit for Thanksgiving. That's enough.
Steven says, listen to the banter on episode 2809. I don't even know what episode that is. Right, you got to get on the McDonald's app. The points and deals are crazy. You'll save so much money. I did get on the McDonald's app, and I did get some free fries one time, maybe a couple weeks ago. But sad to say, I haven't eaten McDonald's since. I've been trying to eat better. So I got it, and then now I just get a pop-up like, you want some McDonald's? I'm like, no. I get an email from Krispy Kreme every morning. I'm like, trying to stay off the Krispy Kreme, player. Nice try.
Yes, they be like, you forgot about us.
Right. So, but
we haven't seen you in a while. Hey, big head. Y'all know how the maps do. If you don't click on no map for a while, they do the random reminder pop-ups.
That app is cracked though. That shit was like free. You want some free shit? I'm like, damn, free shit? Raphael says, now my brother Rod and dear sister Karen as a versal catch myself. Thank you. See, people need to understand it's a hustle to get sexy meat in their beds. Happy Kwanzaa, my peeps. Ignacio says Taraji is not being appreciated for her work. She got screwed by the industry. And shout out to Oprah for trying to fix Hollywood's travesty to this black woman. Yeah, being black in the fucking Hollywood industry, being black in America, just fucking, it's such a fucking trick bag, man. It's so fucked up. I was thinking about this shit today, like how hard people can be on black art as black people because we try to make it carry the race. Shout out to the movie American Fiction. It does a good job kind of depicting some of these things. And I'll think about some of the people anecdotally who on social media are the hardest on black people's art. But man, they love them white people shows. They love them. And I don't mean like dealing with race. I mean the ones that don't have no niggas in them, basically. They love Succession. And they love Mad Men. And they love, Game of Thrones. They love these fucking white people shows. And they do not hold them to the same like anger level of like every fucking second needs to make you feel great about being the race you are without and it's just such a trick bag because those people kind of skate on shit. And then, when it's award season or review season or renewal season, the black shows have to face all the slings and arrows that they've gotten that weren't fair. A Black Lady sketch show and shit just catching hell from people that truly didn't even understand what the show was doing.
Right. Don't even like comedy. What the fuck you over here?
Not just don't like comedy, but they didn't even understand that the show was doing stuff that they said they had claimed to want. Right. A show that literally was for and by and only about black women's experiences that never had a white character on it, didn't even have black people playing white characters. The whiteness was never in the room, not the writing room, any of the shit. And these motherfuckers were like, these women are they are rich, educated, and I'm like, I know some of the people that wrote for the show. No, the fuck they aren't. They aren't the one, that the one black chocolate chip in a sea of whiteness. These aren't these people. They're black as you and me. But we don't trust each other, man. It hurts so much. And I think that happens with Beyonce, Oprah, Rihanna, all these celebrities, all these famous people that get money and try to help people. They never just get the credit of like, fuck it, man, you're trying to help and it's hard. And almost 100% of the black people I'm talking about do not come from generational or systemic wealth. Mm-hmm. They built their shit in their lifetime by themselves, in that it wasn't passed down from a parent. It wasn't inherited. It wasn't some company going into there like, oh, you're the new CEO. All these motherfuckers worked their way up. Oprah got the same childhood as so many people that just never made it. Whether it's grace of God, talent, luck, all those things combined, whatever, we now expect her to hold a place that is impossible to hold, that no person on the earth has ever held before, where you're also rich, but you're also perfect in every political stance, and you're also perfect in every social stance, and you're also extremely liberally progressive to an extreme amount that even the people complaining that aren't at. It's unfathomable. And then at the same time, we're gonna blame you solely for Taraji P. Henson not getting a raise in her rate and black actresses being underpaid in the industry. We're gonna blame you for that. Taraji P. Henson's been in 75 fucking things. Your one thing is the problem, and you are the problem. Yeah. It's fucking insane.
Because it's easier to target one topic than to try to target the system, which needs to be changed, because that would cause more work. And what I've realized, most people are lazy. Most people, they want shit fixed. They want shit done now, but they don't want to do what it takes, the infrastructure, the time, the money, the effort, their energy to actually get the changes done that they want. This voting is part of this too. But since we're talking about this, it's very irritating that, like you said, shout out to white supremacy. For some reason, when it comes to a lot of these black celebrities, you talked about this, all of a sudden, every dime that they spend has to be directed towards or helping minorities. We don't ask none of these white people, where's your money going? What are you doing for the black community? How are you helping, us, quote unquote? Because we don't have that same expectation of them. We don't have the same pressure of them. When they get interviews and shit like this, nobody asking them, a lot of these white stars, what are you doing for the black women on the cast? Like, what are you doing to be sure pay equality and things like that, across the board? Like, what are you doing? Some do, and you hear about those stories, but most of them don't, because most of them are not asked, because most of them don't care. But also because of white supremacy, we're not in the room to ask those questions, to actually put the fire up underneath them, to actually make the systemic changes that need to happen. Like you say, it's that macro and micro. And a lot of people are fucked up on them, and they blur them, and they act like they're both the same all the time when it's not.
Right. But yeah, like I said, it's frustrating. Mm-hmm. But we're so focused on celebrity, and we confuse micro and macro all the time, and we strip the context out of things, and we need heroes and villains. And so we paint this story of just, this person is, and also honestly, I think on a subconscious level, all of us who don't have a lot of money really need for it to be a moral stance. We want it to be like, I don't have money because I'm morally superior to rich people. And I'm not saying that's always wrong. I think it's right in a lot of cases. But I think also it's wrong in a lot of cases. Like, being broke or getting by check to check don't necessarily make anybody virtuous, and having a lot of money doesn't make anybody virtuous or evil to me either. Right. And I think it's trying to push back against the programming of America, and which, like I said, I completely understand, because the programming of America says wealth equals virtue. People have money because they're better than you. And many celebrities and rich people seem to believe this about themselves. I worked harder than you, da, 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 da. And so I get why we, the rest of us, not the 1%, feel a need to push back. My thing is just, I don't think anything's black and white like that. And there's plenty of people that are rich, that worked for it, that got lucky, that also give back and do a bunch of shit. And it'll never be enough for a lot of motherfuckers because they just jealous, or they're envious, or they're just angry. But honestly, some of these motherfuckers is doing the best they can, you know.
Just like you.
And I'm fortunate in that I was not born or cultivated a jealous mind like that. So, you know, when I'm working with game theory, Bomani got money. It never crossed my mind of like, this nigga, none of that. What you doing with your money? Like, I don't care.
Right, don't
You
care.
know, my cousin played in the NBA. I've never, hey man, hey, look, cuz, you know, like, hey man, it's your money. I'm happy for you. Like, you earn that. Every jump shot you fucking practice, all that stuff. I didn't go, this nigga evil. He covered into things. And not to mention, lastly, for a lot of this is very white adjacent critique, because, and I think a lot of black people have glommed onto it in the age of social media and in the age of, like, you know, politics, to try to show we're doing our part to the white people, which is, even if somebody's black, if they're rich, I'll hate them because, you know, I need to show y'all that I'm as down for the cause. And I'm like, I'm not. I actually will do a double standard for black people with money. Absolutely. Because y'all been doing it my whole goddamn life. So yeah, I got a double standard. If somebody black and they got some money somehow, if they ain't get the shit through, like, you know, abusing people or some shit, I'm cool with it. Y'all wanted to give money to Beyonce because she can sing her ass off? Fine by me, nigga. I don't care. Rihanna sold makeup to dark-skinned people when y'all wouldn't. I'm not vilifying that woman. I don't care if she gave some money to Sean King. So did y'all. Who gives a fuck?
Right.
Like, some of this shit, I'm just not. We don't own the means of production. We do not have this generational wealth. We are not coming from hundreds of years of oppressing people to make our money. We have only been, quote unquote, free since the fucking civil rights era, if that. And that's being kind. So no, I'm not counting our shit the same. And I do not look at these people the same. I get it. You're woke. You went to whatever school. You hang out with such and such people. You listen to Chapo Trap House. Good for you. Not the same to me. That's just the way I feel. And I'm never going to be on the other side of that. And I'm okay being judged for that. Fuck it. I don't need to be considered the most woke nigga in the world. Anyway, back to this. We celebrate Christmas sometimes, but it's the America Coca-Cola marketing Xmas. Me search, aka confirmation bias, baffles me. Didn't we all learn how to write research papers in grade school? Some of us didn't. We forgot.
Did not.
I think it was the same day they taught civics. Ms. Barnes says, Rod and Karen count as my valid research. Listen, we try, but even me, I would be like, hey, go look up some stuff. It's fine. I feel like the stuff I present can typically be confirmed by people looking up stuff. That's why I ain't scared of it. Like, I feel like a lot of shows, they had this very, like, just only listen to me. And I'm like, because, you know, the second I fucking go Google something, you know, it's Dr. Umar saying Marvin Hagler died from the COVID shot on the Joe Budden show, and nobody challenged it because it was in the middle of another lie about Vanessa Bryant.
It's just making up shit. Now that is the coach shit. The person we were talking about before, that's the coach shit. Listen to me and only me, and no one else. Yeah, and it gives the vibes of, like, don't go look it up. Right. Go look it up. If you hear some shit on our show, go look it up. We may or may be right. Maybe we might be wrong about some shit. Sometimes people write in all the time and, you know, politely, okay, because we're not mean. Nice. Politely nice. Tug our coat and don't be like, hurt my feelings. Yeah, it was Sophia Loren's titties. And I'm like, fuck, you right. You know? It's that easy to come off of it. It's not that hard for me. All right. That was Gender Wars Gold Medal. Let's get to the last episode of the week. 9 comments on this one too. 999 each episode. Right. Last week it was all 9s. Well, we had 5 episodes. The first 3 were 9. But yeah. Okay. 2828 menu anxiety was the episode. Sean says, I don't get menu anxiety because I order my son's second choice. If he finds that his first choice is not what he actually wanted, then I switch with him. That's nice of you. Oh. You're like, we ain't going through this. You're like, I want a grilled cheese. Turn around, I want chicken nuggets. Yeah, let me go ahead and get chicken nuggets. Like, we're not going through this bullshit. Well, hopefully his son is older than grilled cheese chicken nuggets age. But the other thing is, it just means that Sean gives his child double menu anxiety. So that's bad parenting. Shoe Booty says, I
I won the what? I'm just joking, Sean. I know that actually is good parenting because you give your son the ability to have 2 choices instead of one. Therefore, if they get one wrong, it's not the end of the world. So, Sean, parenting. You don't need to write in with 12 paragraphs. I know it was a joke, and I only made it because I trust and believe that you could take the joke. So, don't prove me wrong. Don't prove me wrong. Let's just be cool. Shoe Booty says, I won the what to keep in your glove box list. I also keep a scratch remover cream because you know how it is out there. Girl, I do. I'm sure somebody scratched my car and I have no fucking idea why.
Oh, the stuff you put in there to kind of fill in the gaps with. Okay, I'm with you now.
But I'm sure because I don't care about cars that way, but I don't know if it was at the Y. I don't know if it was at the fucking apartment, but I used to come out and there'd be a scratch on my car and I'd be like, ooh, why? Mm-hmm. I don't do shit to nobody. I don't drive crazy. I don't park crazy. Whatever. Yatunde says, moving pictures made me crackle so hard.
my brain was trying to process that.
Carmen says, crying. I'm so glad he went with the old timey bit after that. Thank you. Carmen says, also, menu anxiety, more like menu depression. I get so sad when there aren't a lot of options that look delicious on a menu. Well, that's a totally different problem, right? On that note of asking the waitstaff what's good, my ex would ask the server what their favorite dish was on the menu, and he would never order it. I think he thought it was entertaining for them, but nah, you just wasting their time and energy. Drove me batty.
Yeah. I always ask for the special, and most of the time I end up getting it.
I'm gonna be real. It's your ex, so I guess I can say it. It sounds like a real asshole. Hey, what do you think? What's the favorite thing on the menu? And never order it? Why? What the fuck are you doing?
Right.
Asshole, just order the shit you want if you just gonna get the chicken nuggets then.
Get the nuggets and keep it trucking.
Because the waiter got to do all that bullshit. It's in a vinegar reduction sauce, and now you just fucking with them.
Fancy words, and you wasting their goddamn time. That could have been went to another table.
Abia says, I know that Karen tries to be old as fast as she can, but the moving pictures comment was still a surprise. Is she secretly a time traveler from around 1920? I hope so. Never go back to your old timeline, Karen. We need you here.
I would try my best not to, but my brain was just not computing that phrase.
Now I'm waiting for Mr. Print to attack me, but what can he do? He has no claws. He could target me psychologically and gaslight me. Wait a minute, it's already happening. Exactly. Gina Gay says, even before I became visually impaired, I would always be sure to look at the menu online before visiting. I like knowing what I order and then asking the staff if there's any specials, etc., and having an idea of what I'll spend. I thought this was a common thing, even among us older Gen X folks, too. I do think it's common. I mean, that's the thing about this study that was very misleading. I brought it up when we read it. It said millennials do this, but then when you look at the percentages, the majority of every generation does it. Or has menu anxiety or whatever. So, why are we singling out millennials if, they're at 80%, everyone else is at 68%? Nigga, that's 12% difference. That means we're all doing it.
And maybe it's just me because of the pandemic and, shortness of staff and things like that. What I realized, something a lot of restaurants have done, me and Roger have realized this, they have actually started shrinking their menu, which is not so funny. Sometimes a good thing, because sometimes I think the menus are too big, y'all doing too much shit, and then nothing's good. And so a lot of places are like reducing their menu, taking things off the option. I kind of like that because then it kind of streamlines kind of what you're going to get, and you're not wasting a lot of time going through 5 different pages.
Evie says Tasha K has some serious cloud addiction. Wasn't being sued and losing the Cardi B enough? Maybe it's a kink. I don't know. I can't imagine wanting clout this bad to keep doing the same thing over and over to your financial detriment. I just don't understand it. If she keeps it up, one of these days she may mess with the wrong person who won't see her in court, but will see her on the streets. Appia says she has the soul of a printer.
Oh no.
I think that's the meanest thing you can say about a human being. It's worse than a racial slur now. The soul of a printer is an amazing insult. 10 out of 10. And yeah, man, I don't know, because I don't remember if this had happened when we did the show or if it happened after we did the show, but Tasha K put out a video of herself crying for like 10-15 seconds, crying, going, I can't take this no more. And it's like, what do you mean? You're kicking a hornet's nest, getting stung, and then recording a reaction like, I can't take all these hornet stings. I'm like, then stop kicking hornet's nests.
Yeah.
Seemed pretty easy to me, but that's just me.
Maybe that's just me.
All right. Any comments on YouTube for this one? Yeah. Alicia Nicole says grocery Tetris would be a good game on the phone. Thanks, Rod.
That would be fun.
She also says, hey, Karen.
Yes.
I just want to say I chime in every show and say the taser every damn time.
At least I'm not alone. Y'all hear that pregnant pause? My brain is like, wait a minute, which one?
I also say I love you too at the end of the show because I do. Also, be careful. Even though the bag says 0 sugar, it has added other horrible chemicals that are probably banned in other countries to make it still taste good. Oh, God. What the fuck? What the fuck? Can't do shit. I guess I got to throw those in the trash now. Thanks. I'm just going to go eat raw broccoli out the garden and see what happens.
I'm not. I'm going to leave here anyway, so I'm going to try my best with what I got. And, everything from child, if y'all do it, everything going to kill you. And you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not gardening. I'm not raising my own cattle. None of that. So it is what it is for me.
All I want to know is it better than the shit I was eating? That's the goal, really. I'm trying.
Is it better than what I was eating?
I haven't completely gone I'm not trying to go to this place where I feel like I'm suffering.
Mm-mm.
Because I cook most of our food, so I'm trying to cook things that are delicious but good for us and healthier than ordering like DoorDash or something like that. I haven't ordered DoorDash in like 2 or 3 weeks now.
I child, trust they gonna start hitting you up soon too.
No, they do.
Okay,
I don't have to get it. But so I've been doing these things, that somewhat small things, but as long as it's better than what I was doing, I'm cool. But
me too.
Yeah, I guess let me know what the fuck the thing is, but is it better is the question. And I think I don't know. I hope it's better.
Yeah, and also, not trying funny, particularly here in America, we eat a lot of shit that's banned in other parts of the world. Like, let's.
The vegetables aren't. The vegetables got chemicals in them. It's it's just it is what it is.
Right.
Like I'm never gonna, unless I was gonna go completely clean eating, which I know I won't because I would not stick to it.
I would not.
So I don't want to do something where it's like, all I eat is carrots and water. And then I'm like, that lasted 3 minutes. And then I was back on the General's chicken, whatever.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
I was back at the Colonel's house.
Yes, you have to be realistic. And I do understand, people, having desires for people, to eat better, eat clean and things like that. But like I said, because I'm in America, there's only so much quote unquote clean as I can get.
Yeah. So anyway, but thank you. Let's go to the polls. The polls are: do you suffer from menu anxiety? Yes, 42%. No, 58%. And similarly on Spotify, 37% and 62%. So 62% do not. So the majority of our audience does not have menu anxiety. Marvin says, also keep your glove compartment stocked up was a Q&A. Marvin says, I also keep baby wipes in there in case I need more napkins. That's a good one. If you need more than napkins, baby wipes to get it done. Yeah,
because it was something sticky.
Yeah, you spill some soda or something. Yeah,
and particularly people with kids, that's a good way to get all that crap off of them.
Olusada says, I have like half of these items on the list. I have a pen, but if I ever need to write anything down, I just write it on the back of one of those oil change receipts I keep in the glove compartment.
Come on through oil change.
Well, that counts as pen and papers. Maybe I can see that.
Or inspection papers. I keep them in there. Forget about them too.
I keep a little notebook. Ken Nicole says, I keep a rusty steak knife in mine. I always forget
to stab, baby.
I always forget to remove it when I get my cabin filter replaced. At least they know I'm crazy and not to try me. I'll stab you and make you get tetanus.
Apparently so. They go, well, yeah, we ain't even try to get up on her.
Yeah, they try to upcharge you. They like, take the knife out first.
Yes.
Lee says they give you your key and your knife back at the same time. Lee says the only reason I don't suffer from menu anxiety is because I read the menu and check my account before I go. So I guess I do, but at home. Carrie says, I'm a truck driver, so I keep a lot of these items in my work bag. And I don't have menu anxiety because once I find a meal at a restaurant, I pretty much stick with it. Okay, I see you, player. Nothing wrong with that. I have a few places where it's like, I know what I'm going to get every time, Like they did their big one with this.
Because if I branch off and it ain't good, I'll be disappointed.
Like, listen, the lasagna at Portofino's, they know me. Okay, I'm not navigating off of shit. Give a fuck what y'all make. Like,
right?
Like, guys, I don't need to look at the menu. We both know where I came. All right, let's get to some voicemails. Let me play a little music and then we'll do some voicemails. Boom. All right, that was fire, DJ Jaffa. Literally, that's the name of it. All right, voicemail time. We got one from Ebony.
Hey there, Rod and Karen. Ebony here. I am vacationing. I am in Spain right now. I can't be coherent. I wanted to tell you that this recent episode on the gender wars with Simone and her husband, Jason, spot on. The only part where I don't agree with y'all on is I do think that the people who are projecting are bitter and angry and upset. They have had some really shitty relationships in their past, and they are, I mean, I've seen some of the craziest stuff. She should leave him, and this is the sign of divorce, red flags. And I'm like, folks have such a high standard for themselves and their relationships and who enters their lives and who doesn't on the internet, but you see it in real life, baby, they be dealing with some bullshit. Right. And we all do, because we are all humans. I'm like, and again, there was somebody that I follow on Instagram who generally the commentary, she's a social or cultural commentary or whatever. She didn't even read or listen to the entire podcast, but was able to give like multiple posts and critiques about it, and link Stedman and all this other stuff, and link the whole like, hey, back in the day he used to tweet around gymnastics and whatever. Anyway, it was just one of those days where you just are so sick of the internet. Like, it's just like you're so sick of it. It's like y'all will not be satisfied until everybody is lonely and bitter and heartbroken the way that you are. But I am just so glad that you all took the time and went into depth into the situation. Thoughtful as always. Hope you all are having a fantastic holiday, and I'm going to get back to my scotch. Take care now.
First of all, thank you for calling in.
Thank you. And after you said that, don't sound like you really disagreed with us.
Well, I think she's saying, because I went out of my way to say I don't want to call people bitter and be dismissive of them. And I still stick to that, by the way. And it's not necessarily that none of those people are bitter and stuff. I think obviously that's true about everything on the internet.
Correct.
If there are human beings, there are some people that will be bitter and hurt and all this stuff. But it's mostly that I didn't want to be dismissive of what I think are valid concerns of, hey, we live in a world where blank, blank, and blank happens. And so when I see certain things, my antenna goes up and I'm like, this is what this is. And I don't, like I said, I didn't want to be like, nah, you bitter bitches that you just ain't got no man, because I think that doesn't necessarily help in a vast majority of these situations. So that's the reason for me personally not going and engaging in that. But yeah, I mean, you're obviously right. Mm-hmm. Many of the people involved do have some bitterness and some history and some miserableness and stuff, but that's just because we're on social media. That would be true if they were talking about the weather. You know what I mean? Like, it's part of it.
Yeah, yes.
All right, let's get to the next voicemails from our girl Iman.
Hey Rod, hey Karen. Good morning. I hope this gets in time before y'all do the show. But I'm just calling in about the paprika and smoked paprika thing, because my theory is there are people who cannot taste paprika, or it's just kind of like people who eat cilantro and it tastes like soap, or people like me, I eat grapefruit and it tastes like earwax to me. I hate it. But everyone else is like, oh, it's so sweet. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. That's not what it tastes like to me. But I do love paprika. Chicken paprikash is a dish I used to make all the time. But now it's just transferred to other dishes. But but smoked paprika, to me, it only tastes good if you're adding it to like chili or maybe some type of fajita type thing that you're making. Because to me, it's a very strong flavor. I just like regular paprika. Like I buy the big thing of paprika from Costco, and I like it. And it does, to me, I can taste it, but because it's just ground up chili. But you know, it's okay. But that's all. That's all I'm calling in about. I'm here with my eldest. She's had to talk because she's like she wanted to listen to Dryptomaniacs, and at first I was hesitant. She's like, I know that I'm not supposed to say bad words. I'm like, you're right. You know, you're smart. I'm like, all right, we can listen to it. Because she's listening to me with me in the car. All right, that's all. Bye bye.
Man,
that's sweet.
First of all, I've been cooking with the smoked paprika. I'm still not sure I can taste it. Maybe it's placebo effect. I don't know. But I put it in some eggs, and I was like, I think I taste something. I don't know.
Is it just the paprika?
Huh?
Is it just paprika? Or you just doing in the eggs?
Oh no, I mean salt, pepper.
Okay.
You know, I mean it's not just paprika, but I think I tasted it. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I'm trying. I don't want to be ignorant. But I do taste it more than paprika, just regular paprika, which tastes like nothing to me.
It's just red. Devil eggs red.
But I was looking at a cooking video the other day, and they had sweet paprika.
Yes.
And I'm like, man, what is that? You know, so I don't know. Maybe I got to get in my paprika bag. But the other thing I noticed about the smoked paprika, it didn't have like a shaking, like a top where you shake it and a little bit comes out. You just open up the jar. You got to like get a little spoon and get something out. It's crazy. How y'all live like
you
that?
want the smokiness? Get out of smoke.
Yeah. I'm probably just tasting smoke. They probably just mix liquid smoke with some, I don't know.
But I wouldn't know the difference.
And then the other thing was the Dryptomaniac stuff. Man, it always warms my heart to hear people talk about loving Dryptomaniacs. It really does, because y'all know how big I am on like Black history, and my feelings are pretty extreme on the I don't agree with the no slavery movie people. I don't feel any level of embarrassment. I don't feel any level of like shame attached to anything about Black struggle. I think we're being honest, the movies have not actually reflected our journey enough. People overemphasize the amount of material that is actually about civil rights and slavery is actually not that much, especially when you consider the scope of Black history in America and the attack on Black history that is happening throughout our school systems, and Republicans are doing so. But when I hear kids love it, when I hear people, sharing it with their children, when I was listening to Since We Last Spoke, and Nick Jew and Bridget were on there, and they talked about Dryptomaniacs and how much they liked it. Honestly, man, it warms my heart, man. And the team over there, like everyone really worked super hard to make it happen. Regardless of how, because you're talking about a lot people handling a lot of stuff, very sensitive stuff, with a lot of creatives, with a lot of different opinions, with a lot of different work approaches. None of us was in the same place. It was so fucking hard to do. And to know that it got done and that people, appreciated it is honestly the most solace I can take from it. Because in the podcast game, it's not like we was getting a whole lot of money. We're not getting notoriety. No one's knocking on the door like, hey, let's do the next one. Sony's not out here like Dryptomaniac season 2. Well, let's do it even bigger. Like, You know, we did that shit during the pandemic, during the writer's strike and the actor strike. Like it, you know, it was hard as fuck. And so but the thing that refreshed my soul every week was listening to the episode we put out and being like, this shit is so good. I'm just proud to be a part of it. So thank you.
I agree. And also, it's one of those things when just when you was talking about like the history and things like that, and like the, you know, in the movies and how things are out there. When people get all this critique about too much blackness, this, you know, trauma porn and all this stuff, I'm going, in my mind, I'm going, how many Holocaust movies have we have? How many World War I, World War II movies have we have? Like every year, we get at least one to several of them goddamn movies. And I don't hear nobody critique about an oversaturation. I don't hear nobody critique about how they tired. I don't hear this, nobody critique. How many more movies I get about fucking space exploration, going to the moon?
Right.
Motherfucking crickets. Goddamn crickets. But when it comes to our shit and our people and shit that matters to us and shit that actually happened to us and stories that need to be told, not trying to be funny, it gets my fucking nuts. We have to deal with people whining and crying and complaining about it instead of saying, that's not for me. But it does not mean it does not have the right to exist. That's the problem I have. I understand the hurt and the pain and not wanting to press through that. I get that part. My part is you stating that it should not exist. That's why I push back. Who are you to tell me something that happened to my people too? Not just you as a black person, my people too. I can't have those stories because of your insecurities, because of how you feel, because you're scared, because you don't want to dive, because you don't want to look. I can't get the stories now because of that. How is that fair to me? You don't represent all the blackness, and so you shouldn't get the loudest say so in the room.
Yeah, I agree. All right, time to get into some voicemails. So I'll play another selection from the choir. Okay. Let's go with one of the older ones. All right, got a couple emails. Linda says, hi, Rod and Karen. Listening to your episode a few days ago about the porn recap, and you both seemed a bit confused by who may be looking at Femboys content, but let me clear it up for you. It was us, the gays, TM.
It was us. Okay, that makes sense, because I was like, I don't know.
The TM is killing me. I'm sure straights are into to some extent, but it's a big thing that a lot of LGBT people are into because young bisexual and non-binary trans people. To be honest, I was 0% surprised when you said that it was trendy this year based on content I see many of my LGBT peers share on social media. As I understand, it's not really a regressive or emasculating term. It's more of a recent term, and it's often used to describe effeminate, non-binary aesthetics. So there you go. That's what's up with that trend. You're welcome, I think. Thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't know.
I didn't know either.
I'll be over here minding my straight person business.
I sure do too. I was like, well, they say it is, but I don't know. I don't understand, but it's on the list.
Yeah, I'll be minding my straight person business. So sometimes I just don't be knowing, you know. But I appreciate you telling me.
Thank you, baby.
I wanted to be up on it, and now I am. So thank you. We got another one. This one is from Jay Full. What's up, Rod and Karen? Just wanted to write in about Colorado and now Maine removing Trump from the Republican primary ballots. As a black person, I'm a little conflicted. Trump hasn't yet been convicted of a crime, but we all saw the insurrection in HD and even 4K. I worry that this kind of legal precedent can be used to keep black people off of ballots now that so many states are passing laws to try to make Black Lives Matter protest crimes, especially considering Jack Smith didn't actually charge Trump with insurrection crimes. I don't think they'll be able to keep him off the ballot From what I've read from various news sources and the actual text of the amendment, the 14th Amendment doesn't explicitly mention the office of president. I think this Republican Supreme Court will use that to try to block the measures by the state legislatures, but in my non-constitutional lawyer opinion, the language seems clear enough that his ass is ineligible. Yeah, well, I mean, it sounds like the problem kind of takes care of itself for you either way, right? Because if you're saying that, if what I understand is what you're saying, that you don't think it'll happen, then it won't be able to be used against black people because it can't happen. And if it does happen, I feel like right now the standard is insurrection of the government. So I feel like a Black Lives Matter protest, while I do understand slippery slope, I get it, I feel like we aren't there yet. And also I think Trump represents a much more existential threat, that it may be worth actually saying, get him off the ballot, and then we'll push back on them trying this to somebody else. But he says, here's the text of the amendment. No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of the president and vice president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or any other under any state, who have previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or officer of the United States or as member of the state legislature or as an executive or judicial officer of any state to support the Constitution of the United States shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. But Congress may be, by a vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such disability. We all saw Trump definitively give aid and comfort to the insurrectionists by his tweets and inaction on January 6th. Not to mention, isn't the president an officer of the United States? Seems like he should be disqualified to me. I do think it's interesting that Michigan decided to keep him off the ballot, but I would not be surprised if that's because of all them damn militias in Michigan. They did try to kidnap the governor over COVID. They'd probably try to go full boogaloo over their beloved Trump. Lastly, I don't know if it's just social media over application or what, but what the fuck are we going to do about these black men defecting and claiming they're going to vote for Trump? Yes, the majority of us vote Democrat, but what percentage is becoming less and less with each passing election? I'm very concerned. What frustrates me, though, is that they don't have any good rationale. They just regurgitate Republican lies and propaganda. And yes, Biden is pissing me off with his stance on Israel, but there's no way in hell I think a Republican administration wouldn't just give Israel pocket nukes to wipe the Palestinians off the planet. Well, this is the thing. I do question why people are trying to turn this into a black man thing, specifically, because I remember covering the post-election polls. Trump made gains in every group, that like black women, black men, Latino women. I couldn't believe it. Like, it was small percentage points. It's not like a huge percentage, but the fact that people went through 4 years of Trump, and especially marginalized people, and came out and some of them went, not that bad, I'd do this again. I don't know what we do. And I think a lot of it is just misinformation, propaganda and stuff, and the social media influences. I think COVID is a huge part of it because it led people to conspiracy theories and conspiracy theorists.
Yes.
And everything became like a secret cabal, and you're on the other side of this. If you go against everybody, that makes you the real smart person. So I think a lot of that is what's happening.
And it's also one of those things where you look and go, oh, is a possibility that is happening, because like you say, social media propaganda. But I'm amazed, probably because I'm not trying to find, I'm not just stupid, how many people got that check from Trump and was like, well, at least he gave us something. And, for them, that's how they voted. And like I said, it's probably a small percentage of people, but, I forgot the rapper or whoever came out and said that. She's representing somebody. She represents a lot of people who think that is a quote unquote valid argument. And it is not. It is very stupid. It is very dumb. But, they are out there.
Yeah. Also, a lot of this stuff is about social media amplification, because especially in the gender wars age, if you can find black men who say the opposite of what most black men say, that person gets the the bulk of the attention and the bulk of the backlash goes to all black men. The bulk of the backlash doesn't just go to these coons. Like it's always like this is the weakest link. Black men are still the strongest link of all men in America. Period. Period. Even if you overstate it and go 20% of black men support Republicans or Trump, 80% don't. So what the fuck? Why are we getting this? You know who is the only group that supports Democrats more than black men? Black women. That's it. Not Latino women, not white women, not Asian women, just black women. So why the fuck do we always catch the slings and the arrows? Okay, we live in a patriarchal society. It is fucked up. People do buy into that bullshit. Absolutely. But we literally, if you look at the votes, buy into it the least. We're fucked up because we live in America.
Right.
We live in this world. So I'm not trying to make an argument of like black men are perfect. But my point is the way we get treated like we're the fucking real problem in a world where, you know, white men run the fucking Republican Party and the planet and all this shit. We're the real problem. I hate that shit, and I think that a large part of that is because of social media. Mm-hmm. We're the ones that are around each other the most, the affinity group, the niggas that push back because their feelings are hurt, join in to with the other hateful niggas instead of like just letting the shit slide. And so we just end up in these groups. But like I said, if you look it up, I'm not making this up. Trump made gains with every type of minority group. So this idea that it's just a black man thing is fucking weird, you know?
Yeah, and it's also one of those things, particularly being online and seeing everything online. Online amplifies a small group and makes the illusion that the group is actually bigger than it actually is. Mm-hmm. Yes, there are a percentage of men, but just black men, just keep it real. Most people talking, if you talk to black men, most of them are going to vote Democrat. Most are. You might have a handful, you're like, okay, this is the coon, but most of them are like, fuck Donald Trump. Like, let's just keep it real. And I think a lot of times people get this illusion that the representation online represent the representation in the real world sometimes. And these things do not always connect. And then it puts them in a place of fear. It puts them in a place, and I know because it's something I've been through, puts you in a place of fear, puts you in a place of panic. It distorts your reality of what's actually happening and what's really going on. It's not to say these groups aren't growing. It's not to say this thing is not real. All it's saying is a lot of times these online numbers and polls and statistics and things are showing you things in a small microscopic area, like really, really small, and saying this small sample is a representation of the totality, and that's not always true.
Also, like, it's the gender wars of it all, because people try to turn it into like Ice Cube is representative of all black men when it's not true. It's not true. Like, we have to live in truth. Even if it doesn't fit your like general agenda or narrative, then at least be honest about it, that you just got an agenda and you just want to shit on niggas. Don't turn it into, nah, man, see, the problem is you black men, because he's also making gains with black women. And when we see a black woman acting like that, we do not go, Candace Owens is the weak link and the representative of black women, because we know that's not true.
Right.
So part of this is just the ongoing cycle of men fighting women online and intraracial fights, and that's why you end up with these extreme opinions that actually are not based in fact. Even with that said, any percentage is too much to me, but I'm not going to quibble over, I'm not going to pretend that it's an existential threat, because we also don't have the numbers, even with the 13% we represent of America as black people, and even less so of black men. It's not like that is what is putting Trump over the top. Mm-mm. So I mean, I don't fuck with those people. I don't follow those people. I don't have them on our show.
Nope.
We don't have them in our lives. But at the same time, I think the hyperbole and the always wanting to dunk on some crusty ass black dude has turned into a different reality online than what we experience in life.
Yeah, and like I said, I do understand, your concern, but actually, if you actually look at it, it's a bump up. Yes. So okay, that is to be looked at and to be concerning.
Yeah.
But the reality is the number as big as it's causing the anxiety and all these other things that you're feeling?
The last thing he said is, anyway, I feel like I'm rambling. This ASAP Rocky, Whiskey, Mercer, and Prince got me feeling real good. It's so smooth that you can fuck around and finish half the bottle before you know it. I look forward to hearing you guys' opinion. I love when y'all talk about voting in elections early, but I'm getting scared. We can't survive another Trump presidency. Yeah, I'm scared as well when it comes to what people are going to do, but it's also just the general anxiety of election year because it's America. It's as much as I believe Joe Biden should win, I also believe it's America, so it's always 50-50. And there's things piling up, such as Trump judges confirming redistricting that favors GOP maps and stuff like that. And so there's things that are happening constantly. I'm sure we'll be covering it on the show. We're not trying to be alarmist. I just want people to be aware of stuff. I don't want people to be blindsided by stuff. Right. And as I say every single time when it's time to vote, we will get what we deserve. Meaning, and I don't blame the politicians. I blame us 100% of the time, every single time. Because at the end of the day, our refusal is routed in a level of entitlement and privilege and denial. When we go, I'm too good to vote. When we do that, that's on us too. And so, yeah, and that's not just the liberal people. There's a ton of people in America who do not vote, and they go, "This ain't got nothing to do with me." And then when they watch our country run roughshod over somebody or whatever, when they watch a worse outcome than what would have happened, they act like they have no responsibility. And like I said, I can't abide that. So
right, and it's also one of those things where we always know there's exceptions to the rules. But for the most part, yeah, as a populace, like I said before, we don't take voting as a civic duty as a citizen like they do in other parts of the world.
All right. We got some stuff in the mail too.
Yay!
Let's open these up. We got some cards, I believe. This is a little cute card. It's very small. Let me open up this little tiny baby. It's got a reindeer on the front, a cartoon reindeer, if y'all can see that. And on the back, I'm sorry, it opens up, and then on the inside it says M. Gray from the UK. It says, "Happy Christmas, Mike in London." Oh yes, send that shit across the pond, mate.
Yeah, baby, you've been hanging around with us for a long time, sweetie.
Yeah, always chiming in from London. I think he was the one that told us about that game they play with the bar where they pay for the drinks. We love to see it. We got this one. It's a very silvery one that says "Happy Holidays" on the front.
That's pretty.
On the inside, it says, "Hi, Rod and Karen." The card print says, "Best of wishes to you and yours for a wonderful holiday season." And inside is from Tamara, aka Tammy B, who says, "Wishing you a Merry Christmas and Happy 2024. Thank you." Mm-hmm. And the last envelope one, the last card, and this big red card, it says, "'Tis the season," and there's a bunch of like polar bears and reindeer and goose and Christmas trees. On the inside, it says, it's from Adam S. It says, "What makes the holidays so wonderful? Sending wishes like these to special people like you. Merry Christmas." Thank you. We appreciate y'all. And the last thing, we got a package in this. I don't know what's in it. I'm gonna open it now.
Shit! Now I like packages.
It's a book. Okay.
Shit.
You know, Karen loves to put a book on the shelf. Okay?
I do. I'm the queen of that.
You know, I only read Kindle, so the bookshelf is mostly a flex in this house.
Mm-hmm. I like to flex the books that I'm probably not gonna read.
Oh my God! At this card.
Oh yes, my hero.
My Hero Academia card. Oh my God.
Yes. I'm ready for the new season. Let's go.
Yeah, we love to see it.
Let's go, Adoria.
Yes, Midoriya's on here. It's oh man.
Bakugo. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Oh my God. This is so good. All right.
Oh, we just had like a complete nerd out moment. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for this. Just let alone just for the card. Before we even get into the rest of this shit. But yeah,
my favorite anime.
Todoroki's on here.
Let's go.
And what's the one with the glasses? I forget his name, but he's on here too. All right. Sorry. Good afternoon, Rod and Karen. I hope all is well. And I also hope that you both had a wonderful holiday. I wanted to share with you a special passion project that my found sister completed over the summer. Jaha is the essence of being Black and Southern, and she has conducted interviews with Black elders who lived during the Jim Crow South, a book of rich stories of being Black in the United States. I know that this is not the type of electronic format you used to, but I wanted her personally to sign this book for you and Karen. Aww. Thank you for everything that you do for us listeners, Miss Barnes. Listen, okay?
Thank you.
I will never not take a signed copy of a book.
I like signed copies.
Okay, nothing's better than a flex. Okay,
mm-hmm. That's why I like the books. They signed it.
And the title of this book is "To Those Who Saw the Sun." African American oral histories from the Jim Crow South. And it's got that hardback, old school.
Oh shit! Now sound like a piece of wood. Do it smell like oak?
Smell like Skelly Bark Library. Okay.
Smell like redwood.
Okay, it says to Rod and Karen, may the lessons from the elders in this book be inspiring, encouraging, and informative. God bless. Jaha. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, baby. Oh, thank you.
We appreciate everybody. Thank you. I'm glad we did this feedback show. And we'll probably have to do one next week too. JL Covan tomorrow, 10 a.m. Have Blackface coming out on your streaming platforms. Until next time, I love you.
Love you too.
Mwah.